Let's talk about the UV, the most important part of any 3D software. For example, we have a cube and we want to create a UV of that. What is the UV? Look at this image. For example, we have a 3D model. The UV is opening 3D model, a technique that you have to learn and you have to work and practice. You have to open your model to the flat one and you can paint and give a texture to that, because the textures are 2D. Or with another way, the new 3D painter software like a Substance 3D Painter or Body Paint, they are directly you can paint on an object. But at first you need create a UV. The software is projecting 3D things to the 2D. So you have to learn from which part do you have to create the seams, the cut, the edges, and then you can open it. When you open, the 3D model is in its place. It does not change anything, but for example, we have a copy of object and then flatten it. And we have two things. Actual polygon that are in your 3D model and the UV polygon. There are two different things. If you change the polygon of UV, for example, you can see this is a polygon of your image and this is a polygon of your UV. If you change UV, scale it, just you can affect the texture on this UV. It does not affect the real 3D model. They are separate. So in this lesson, I want to just tell you about the user interface of the UV edit. It's there. In the tab, you can activate UV edit. It's automatically bring you in 3D. It's nice. You can see your 3D object and work on a UV. The UV does not mean anything. It's just X and Y instead of X and Y, because we are here in X and Y. In a UV, it's a U and V, it's a direction. And you can also see UV W, it's X, Y, Z in the X, Y, Z in the 3D. The UW is a UV window. So it's like a standard, but if you, for example, open a material, it will be open here. These are the main tool of the UV. You can see these main tools are changing just for move, rotate, scale, and transfer or mirror. The tools we have most important of tools of UV here. But what happened? Why all of them are turned off and gray? Because these are, you can see if you go, you can see we have model mode, polygon mode, line, and the point is also working in a UV. All of the tools like selection, snaps are working also in UV. So these are parametric model, and the parametric model you cannot create a UV for them. You can use a projection if you want to insert the texture, you can use that, but you have to, for making UV first you have to make them editable or hit C. Now it turns to the polygon and you can open it and turn to the UV and flatten it. You can see some of the tools are turning on. Make sure that you are not in a point. If you go in the point, the projection object that we want, this main tool that we want to open the model on, turn off. Make sure that you are in a, for example, the best mode is the surface. We want to open this 3D model very easily. You can use set UVW from projection. If you click this gear here, you can see all of this projection mode are here. I will explain it more. Don't worry. Just I want to explain you very easily. This is an automatic packing, relaxing, go to the projection, and this is a cube. So use cubic 2. And you can see it automatically open the UV for you and you can export it. Before you're exporting your 3D texture, you have to assign a material to that. I'll explain it more. Just I want to explain the user interface, or you can create a simple material to that. You can make it editable, but make sure that you set, for example, a standard. I don't want to work in Redshift in this time, just simple material. And you can simply assign the material to this object. If you see a new tag will be appear here, this is an UVW tag, this is an UV XYZ, it's nothing. It's a basic and the tag. And if you go to the material, if you go to the material tag, we have also here the projection UVW mapping. If you don't want to use create a UV, you can directly go to the projection of your material. I will be explaining more. Just see simple creating UV object and user interface. You can see we have a lots of UV tools here that I will be explaining it if more for you. You can mirror it in any way. If you want, you can reset UV again or create, for example, frontal UV that's creating UV based on your view of camera and lots of other settings. That will be explained more. Again, look at this video from the ZBrush from the head of a person. It's automatically open the UV for you. The UV in ZBrush is also, it's more for Max and it's very powerful, but I want to explain in Cinema 4D. In this video, you can see this head is opening and make it flat. In this video, you can see better what is exactly UV. Okay, so let's go to the next lesson and explain all of these tools and creating some project to better understanding the UVs and explain all of these tools. And you can see all of these comments are also here. And we have a lots of menu here that I will explain them one by one. Or you can optimize your user interface for better. You can see it's little small. I want to make it larger to see all of the menu here. And also this is a lot, this is a bigger, this is a big, I don't need such a this big scene. I want to see my UV better. This 3D UV is for just selecting the edges and selecting scene to open that. Okay, the material is good. I delete the material. The material is open there and nice. Tools are here. And we use a lot selection tool. You can customize your workflow, your layout here. It's very easy. Or we use a lot non-uniform scale. You can search comment here non-uniform scale and you can drag and drop it there. For doing that, you can go to the window and customize. And I want to customize palette. And here you can search your comment again, non-uniform scale, and you can insert it there. It's very simple. I explain it in first lesson is playlist of Cinema 4D. The uniform scale is nice. You can use it. Or you can use the selection tool. I will use symmetry selection a lot with symmetrical object. And I'll use a lot store selection. So you can go to the customize again and customize palette to symmetry symmetry selection. You can, for example, insert it there. This is a symmetry selection with selection. I use store selection. Restore UV, store, what was that? Yeah, store selection. You can store UV. I use a lot, store selection. And you can use icon separator in between them or group separator also to make it a more space between them. And then close. Everything is done. This is a symmetry selection and then store selection. And if you want use, you can add any custom tools here. And then I want to save these changes. So you can again go to the Windows, customize. I explained them before. and you can save your layout as. So you save your layout, you can see TC UV edit, or you can save it TC UV in CM4D. It's automatically saving layout and it comes there. If you go to the standard and if you go to the UV layout standard data, you can see all of your changes will be gone. So you have to save your TCUV here, and you can automatically go to your own layout with the most used tools that you bring it there. It's very important to customize your workflow for better understanding and working in UVs. Please don't forget to visit our TutorialCells apps channel. In this channel, we are introducing Android application and learn how to use them.